Alright, so I hope y'all didn't think that I was only gonna make one video on this new cards. Got another gameplay right here. So I wanted to showcase like me going deep into the match and how this deck kind of plays. Now it was hard, not gonna lie, hard to kind of like play through these Crystal Beast cards because I don't know nothing about Crystal Beast. And it was almost like I couldn't stop anything he was doing, but he wasn't really doing anything. Like he was playing, but he wasn't really playing, if that makes sense. Like he was doing stuff, but it wasn't doing anything though. He wasn't really like stopping anything that I was doing, if that makes sense. So I go Runic Fountain right here. He flips over this Crystal Conclave right here, right? So I'm going to go Runic Slumber to bring out my level 2. Now, I didn't draw into the cards that I was really, really wanting to see. And I just couldn't get enough cards like I needed. Like when I started doing plays, I didn't really get any mills or anything like that I would really want to make my deck more consistent. If I could have milled something like early on and gotten a few cards in, I could have gotten some good draw effects, but this is what ends up happening. I end up getting a shit ton of runic fountains, so I'm just going to abuse the runic fountains. So try to get a draw effect to try to draw into something. Almost, I know that there's nothing I can really draw into that would be substantial other than like Diviner of Herald, which is what I was kind of hoping I would draw into. But for the most part, I've already used up my normal summon, I believe. Or no, I didn't. So I haven't used up my normal summon, I'm sorry. But Diviner of Herald is what I was hoping for. But I ended up just drawing into a whole bunch of runics. Diviner of Herald would have got me into some, basically a synchro. It would have gotten me into a synchro, and it would have gotten me into some mills. So I would have gotten Diviner of Herald, put it to level 6. Synchro using Gary plus Diviner of Herald into maybe a Baron de Fleur or potentially a Changing, and just so happens that's not the case. So I draw 2 right here, draw into a Guido, which is fine. I was kind of wanting to hold on to this freezing curses right here, so then that way I can go freezing curses into my level 2, and then, or not level 2, but into something to discard a Guido. But I already got all my runic fountains, so that wouldn't work because I couldn't discard to draw a runic fountain because I don't have any more in the deck. So I couldn't do that, so I just used freezing curses to basically just negate his Dagaris. Since I couldn't target anything because of this crystal card right here, and then my opponent can't make any more plays, so they just scoop. But I was hoping to really show off this deck, but this is one of the issues that I'm having right now, is just the consistency in the draws, the consistency in how this deck actually plays, because a lot of decks can play through like one pop, one negate, one destruction of a spell or trap. They can play through all of that stuff. So a lot of the times, a lot of what I was putting up doesn't really matter. But the mills, it's hard for them to play through those mills. So when you start milling cards, it makes it really hard for your opponents to do anything. And I was probably going to be able to start milling stuff with this Agito real soon. I got a real good feeling about that because I was basically just drawing a bunch of runics. I wasn't going to be able to draw into any more fountains, so more than likely something was about to come up that was going to allow me to be able to get this Agito, or even if I normaled it and then just linked it off or whatever, getting into some meals basically. So whatever. But yeah, hopefully you guys like the gameplay.